大家好. So my talk today is because I think we are in danger. So I want to warn you about this danger. And this danger is that I'm convinced that we are being invaded by robots. So I'm trying to pace myself with the slides. You'll see that's an interesting exercise. Is that moving? Okay. So, oops, sorry. Okay, so the presentation will be about recognizing the early signs of this invasion, being able to check if you yourself are infected, and what we can do about it. So, in terms of robots, I looked a little bit at what I could find in movies. So you're probably familiar with the Terminator, who starts by wanting to kill humans and then help them. Another one, the replicant from Blade Runner, just wants to live longer and peacefully. Another one from Matrix, the Agent Smith, want to maintain the illusion. The last one, maybe the most scary, is from a movie called 2001: Space Odyssey. And we're not exactly sure what he wants, but he's killing humans. So the problem with robots is that, as you'll see, they're becoming really ubiquitous. In my work, I research a lot what's going on in online games, virtual worlds, social media, and you'll see that even offline, there's a lot of robots. So in games, you might be familiar with the games of poker, card game, with World of Warcraft, or farming games like Crash Launcher. There's basically robots to play that. So you can basically pay for software that plays and takes care of the farm for you. Even in social media, you start to see robots on Twitter, on Facebook, on QQ, and probably a lot of other places. And it becomes really difficult to know when you're actually talking to a human or to a robot. I actually have some examples, and that came from this article I read about a user of Twitter who realized after 2 years talking with somebody, having a friend on Twitter, realized it was a robot after 2 years. So I found that really surprising, so I tried to find who created it. So I met with the creator of the robot, and he told me because he used the picture, the name, and you can have some good timing for responses. You can use special techniques to make it very believable as a human. So I decided to try it. So I made a very simple robot, which is auto-reply on Twitter. So I did that, and it looks like, oh, thanks for following me, you can email. And then people are very happy. They say, oh, I'm so glad you answered my invitation in person. Nobody doing it. So, but after that, I became really, really suspicious when I received messages on Twitter. So when I received this message from this friend called Thomas Frampton, I thought, oh, that sounds like a robot to me. So I wasn't sure, so I wrote out, maybe thanks, something like robot. He was really offended. He was really, really shocked that I called him a robot. He said, oh, maybe I'm too boring. So I tried to apologize, and then he complained that he wasn't sure if it was me or my robot apologizing. But eventually I found robot life is actually quite good. Like on Twitter, mostly my followers are mostly happy. I made some great contacts because of this auto-reply thing, and even got some business out of it. But it's not always so easy. Like this is an example of a UK furniture company. They tried to use Twitter for a campaign, and that backlash really bad because users found that this was really spam. So they tried to cover it up, but eventually they had to apologize. The question is it that robots are really good at being humans? Actually, I think that it's actually humans that are being robotic. So if you take average daily talk, you remove the greetings, the repeat of news, and repeats of stories, there's not much left, actually. If you think of call centers, you can actually picture them as human interface for scripts. Because this is more or less what a call center does. They have a screen, and they just run you through the script, and you just have a human interface. Even for seduction, so this gentleman is the world's most famous pickup artist. So he's very good at talking and seducing girls. And he uses scripts. This is a script that you can use tonight. I need a girl's opinion on something. This is an opener if you want to talk to a girl or a group of girls. So actually, as you can see, I actually turned half into a robot because this story I told many times, so I'm repeating it like a robot. And actually, if you repeat that story, then you become a robot too. So be careful not getting infected. And so what can we do about all this? I think the idea is really to get over our default settings on our automatic replies and to really behave like humans consider people talking to us like humans. So I hope that now you'll be able to recognize when you meet a robot, and that you'll be able to, let's say, bring the best out of your humanity. Thank you.